Hello and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Transformers review for you today. It's a figure I've actually had for a decent amount of time, but I'm just kind of getting around to reviewing him now. This is Transformers Generations Waspinator. As you can see, this is him on card. He comes with this IDW comic book here. Here he is in the bubble. On the side here it says Series 2, number 008. Here's the back of the card. Shot of robot mode and wasp mode. And then here's some old-fashioned tech specs for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and get him out of the package. Okay, so out of the package we have Waspinator. Now in the package he is packaged with his heels folded in like this, which is part of the transformation, so make sure you don't forget those heels because it is hard for him to stand without them. But once you pop those out, he stands pretty well. Not too bad, but the hip joints are a little loose, so he kind of rocks around a little bit, but not too bad, not too bad. On the back, he's got these wings, and it has a flapping gimmick. If you press this, you can see the wings flap. Personally, that's like one of my pretty much major complaint. The figure's pretty great overall, but my pretty much major complaint is that flapping. I would much rather have just had, I mean, they're still kind of on a ball joint, so you can move them around a little bit, but I would much rather they just kind of be on a ball joint like the original Beast Wars figure was, so that I could just put the wings up like this in the back, or kind of just like out like this in the back. I mean, it's some people might love the flapping gimmick. I just don't personally care for it. He does come with this Stinger weapon, which I think better represents the weapon he had on the show. It doesn't fire anything, but it does look pretty good. And it fits in his hand just like that. I mean, if you take a look, this head sculpt is, I think, magnificent. It's incredibly show accurate. So much more than the original one was. I mean, I think it looks fantastic. And it's got a bunch of light piping. It's got a huge section here so that his eyes really can glow. I just think it's a fantastic head sculpt. Pretty much that's one of the major reasons I bought this toy. I wasn't going to get it originally, but I got it for a great price, and I love the head sculpt. I mean, I'm definitely going to be displaying him in robot mode because it's fantastic. I really just think it looks great. I'll do a little 360 real quick. Like I said, he does have these wings on the back, and he's kind of got his big stinger like he used to have on the show. You can, if you want, take this off. You just fold it in half, and you can store it on his stinger on the back of his B section like that if you'd like to. Articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint, so it can move up and down, all around, side to side. He's got a ball joint here at the shoulder, ball joint in his hand, so you can turn that all around and it bends. Hands do 360 right here. Again, these hip ball joints are a little loose, so he has a tendency to go his legs real wide and kind of fall down. I've heard from a lot of other people that it's a similar problem, but it doesn't make the toy impossible to work with. And then here it's got a bend here in the knee, and you've got a little bit in the ankle, but not a whole lot. But like I said, if you can get those heels out and just have them balanced, he really can display pretty nicely. I definitely think the robot mode is the main draw, but he does have a wasp mode, of course. I found the directions to be incredibly confusing. I feel like Hasbro is really negating steps, or they show you something and it doesn't really make sense how they got there in that step, and especially since they're mostly black and white with like just purple colors. But what you're going to start out with is you're going to pull this section up. And if you see, there's a hole right here, the top smaller circle, and there's a peg right here. That's what was in that hole. So you're going to pull it up, Now the directions say just pull it up like this. Well, they don't. What they don't tell you is you have to pull it away a little bit so that you can flip this up so that the head can fit in this, like the chest cavity, like that. And the other thing is you have to push these two together for the wasp head. They really don't detail that out very well in the directions, which is what was kind of confusing me at first, because you're just kind of pushing the head up and it's wedging, and I feel like I'm going to break it. You have to pull it apart like that, pull that part down so that you can then push it up, and then it goes up. Now the other thing is, when you push these together, these sections lengthen out a little bit. They kind of pop off, each side pops out a little bit, and that makes it easier to, right here at this hinge, fold that in and do the same on the other side. Then you just kind of have to position the arms in such a way that you want what would be the outer part of the shoulder to be pointed down, and then you're going to revolve these around 180 degrees. So you want, and like I said, stuff kind of flops around. Unfortunately, it doesn't really click in place until the end. But what you're going to want is the outer part of the shoulder with this line facing towards you. But then you want to move at the elbow, move it around so that it looks like the normal arm facing towards you, so that this yellow part is facing towards the inside. Now what you're going to do is right here, there's kind of a little, like an empty space. And you can see there's kind of a little peg here on the inside of the elbow. So you're going to fold this so that's kind of almost 90 degrees. And then this peg is going to pop in to that hole right there. I know it's hard to show up, but you can see the empty space right there. It looks like a U, and then you can see the little peg. And that's just going to kind of go in there. Now it's not 100% peg in, because this part has a peg, kind of a flat peg, rectangle peg, on the inside of the forearm there. And that's going to plug into the legs. But before we can do that, and if you want to fold these just so they're out of the way for now, that tends to be helpful. But this is the leg part, and then you kind of fold these down so that at this ball joint here, you can spin it 180 degrees. And then you just pop it up. So this is the part that was his crotch plate. You're going to fold that up till it hits the back of the stinger. Then you're going to fold this, and you can see how the yellow part will complete the stinger, and it's going to kind of like fill in the hole there. And if you want to fold these wings to get them out of the way, I tend to do that too because they get in the way. So then you're going to fold this up, and then you're going to fold these two. These are going to be more wasp leg pieces on the side of the legs. You can fold them out of the way. But you can see the stinger's complete. Then you can come down here and fold these legs together so that they're pointing straight. Now once the stinger's complete, there's a big hinge right here. Right here. You can fold that down so that it's a kind of more classic wasp shape. Then what you're going to do, and this is where it gets a little tricky, right here on the bottom of the feet there's two little rectangle holes, and then it's hard to see, but here, let me move these out of the way a little bit. Right here and here you can see there's two rectangle pegs. So what you're going to do is fold this up and kind of peg them in there so that those rectangle pegs go on the bottom of the feet. You just kind of have to fiddle with it a little bit. Now once you get that done, this rectangle peg that I was telling you about on the inside of the forearm is going to go to these rectangle holes on the side of the feet. So you're just going to do that on both sides. Okay. And then you just kind of, you can kind of, you know, shore it up so that everything is where it's supposed to be. Make sure everything lines up. You just have to fiddle with it a little bit. Then you can kind of put the wings back in place. Put these back legs where you want them. play with the front legs, get them how you want them. It's a little difficult to get them to balance on the legs because it's just a lot of fiddling, but once you can get it done, then I'll move this camera down a little bit. So now you can see Waspinator in Wasp mode. Here's a front mode, front look. You do see a little bit of the robot arms, but luckily they're all kind of the same green color, so it blends in a little bit, so they're not, and these legs are a little bit in the way. Like I said, the Wasp mode is passable. I think it's okay. I really think if you're going to buy this figure, it's going to be for the robot mode, because the robot mode really looks good. Like I said, it's very show accurate. The head sculpt is fantastic. Very, very show accurate. I like his weapon. That's more show accurate than the original one was. It doesn't fire a missile, but I really think it looks really good. I think if you're gonna get this figure, you're gonna display it in robot mode, absolutely, and he's gonna look fantastic. Now again, the flapping feature, it does work in this mode. Again, I don't personally care for the flapping feature, but some people might like it. But like I said, I think the Wasp mode is passable, but the reason you're going to buy this guy is absolutely the robot mode. It's fantastic. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on this one. Please tell me what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and I hope you've enjoyed this review of Transformers Generations Waspinator. And thanks for watching.